In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you how to create generational wealth. And you don't need anything, you don't need anyone. All you need is yourself, the information that I'm going to give you, and then the discipline to make and execute a plan. A very, very, very simple plan. You don't need crypto. You don't need an MBA. You don't have to be lucky sperm. You don't need partners. You don't need anything. And you don't need anyone. You work 40 hours a week. Okay, congratulations. You use that money to do what you've always done, pay your bills. Now what I'm asking you to do is to set up a fund so that you can buy a couple of investment condos. So in other words, you're going to work, let's say, an extra 10 hours a week. All right, so you work 10 hours a week and you take that money and you put that money aside for your condos. Now, how much do you need? Well, that's for you to figure out. Deal with an area of 25,000, become the expert on values in that area in 2 or 3 months of research and going to open houses and talking to brokers. And, you can become not only an expert, but the expert on values in a small specific investment area. You're going to know much more than most real estate agents because most real estate agents deal in a very wide geographical area, whereas you have a specialized knowledge in your little area of 25,000. So you're going to see, what does a condo cost in this building? What does a condo cost in this building? What did they cost 30 years ago? What did they cost 20 years ago? How much did they cost 5 years ago? How much do they cost now? Are there any good deals on the market? You're going to know all of these things. What's the price of a 2-bedroom? What's the price of a 1-bedroom? Does the price vary by floor? Does it vary on location within the building? One corner of the building is overlooking the parking lot. One's overlooking this, which are the more valuable ones? This is all the information that you're going to need to enhance your buying. You really can't fuck this up, okay? Almost anything that you buy, if you go back 10 years and you say, I would buy anything 10 years ago because it's worth much more now. What do you think people are going to be saying 10 years from now? You know what they're going to be saying? Exactly the same fucking thing, okay? When I was buying properties in the early 70s, the first one that I bought was a 3-family house. I paid like $23,000 for it. It just sold for over $1 million, okay? Everything is going to increase in value. Inflation is going to... You want to be part of this. You want to get in the ground floor. Who do you need? You don't need anybody. This is your business, okay? If you're investing in the stock market, you're betting on somebody else is going to be successful and run a good company. This way, you're doing it. You're in charge. You're the boss. You need no one. You're the president. This is your investment company, okay? Whatever your last name is, Martinez Realty Investments, okay? Call it whatever you want, okay? East Austin Investment whatever. This is your little company. What else do you have to, you got to make sure that you have a decent credit rating, okay? A credit rating probably, definitely over 650, hopefully over 700, okay? But you're going to go to lenders, go to several different banks or talk to mortgage brokers and say, what exactly do I need? If I want to buy a $150,000 or $200,000 or $300,000 condo, what kind of a down payment do I have to make? Okay, then that's your target goal. And then you're going to do everything in your power to get that down payment so you can buy that. Now, if it's your first purchase, you're going to buy it, move into it, live in it for 2 years, rent it out, then get another one. Do that a couple of times, and you have created generational wealth. All these people driving around with their thumb up their ass, they had no idea, okay? They bought a Mercedes when they could have bought a Honda, and they could have used the differential in that money to buy a condo. I don't want to say it, but, how many people have wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars on a college education? They would be fabulously way better off if they had used that money as down payments on condos, and they own 3, 4, 5 condos, all right, rather than having a fucking degree in romantic poetry or gender, some other bullshit degree, which is going to get them, well, you know where it's going to get them. It's going to get them absolutely nowhere, okay? And then they're going to be, what am I going to do now? I can't believe the kid that I met who was graduating from college. What are you going to do? Well, I don't know. I'm going to graduate. Then I'm going to see what the opportunity. Talking about putting the cart before the horse. If you're a freshman or a sophomore in college, you got to know what the fuck you're going to do so you can take courses in order to get that profession and work part-time in the field and get internships and do all of that kind of stuff so you can make some money so you can get your condos, and then you're going to have generational wealth. You're going to have these wonderful people called tenants giving you money when? Next month, the month after that, the month after that, the year after that, the decade after that. When do people stop paying rent? They don't stop paying rent. So they're going to pay you rent, and then you're going to pass these on to your kids. They're going to go, wow, thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you for passing these condos on to me. And now these tenants are still paying rent. And what kind of rent are they paying? The average person goes to work and then comes home and gives 25 to 60%. In some cities, people have to pay 60% of their take-home pay in rent. This isn't rocket science. Bing, bing, bing. Which side of the door do you want to be on? You want to be collecting the rent or you want to be paying the rent? Basically, that's your choice, okay? And this isn't rocket science. 60% of people own their own house. They figure out how to buy a house. All you're doing is the same thing that these people are doing, except you're doing it multiple times. So who do you need? I don't know, You got the old man here, okay? I got hundreds of videos here. Come on, I got all this stuff, okay? You can just watch it. You can take the course. I think all this stuff is free app. It's all there on success.org and, on TikTok and on YouTube here for you to study. Okay, you can watch other people's podcasts and all of that, but don't get tied down in all of the internal rate of return. Fuck the internal rate of return. Know what something is worth and offer less than that and keep offering until you get one. Then you got a great deal and, then you got one. Then you just repeat the process. You don't need anyone. What you need is your disciplined self, and you need the simple instructions that I've just given you. Small area of 25,000, become the expert on that area. Talk to people about what you have to do in order to buy a property, know how much you have to save, and then, basically, do you have the ambition and do you have the discipline to bust your ass and do that, okay? I don't care if you're working at, McDonald's, you can do this. You can do this if you're working at Walmart or you're working at Macy's, anybody can do this. You can do this. And if you don't do it, in the future, you're going to think back and say, that old bastard that was saying all that, I wish I had listened to him. Okay, this is the Bill FitzPatrick Network, and I'm the old bastard himself, Bill FitzPatrick. So I hope I helped you, give you some ideas. Comment on what I'm saying. That helps me. Subscribe, and, let's continue this journey.